Well, hello there, it's Josh Wright from racingtoprofit.co.uk. I hope you've had a great week and are looking forward to the weekend. You see in front of you, if you're not familiar with this screen, that is GG's Gold. And the first part of this really is a quick kind of video review of Saturday's racing. So do get your notepads at the ready. For the majority of you who are watching this and have no interest in trialling GG's Gold, the idea is that there is some useful content within the video that may help point to a few winners. I do want to keep this as brief as possible, which is something I say at the beginning of every video I record, and then it ends up going on to be at least about 20 minutes, sometimes an hour. But most of you won't have time to trawl through such a long video on a Saturday morning, so I will try and keep this brief. The other aim, and the main aim really, is to, well, to be blunt, to convince some of you to try GG's Gold. Unless you've kind of been away or in a cave or not signed up to certain people's email lists, hopefully you won't have failed to notice that Matt, who owns and runs GG's, has been doing a launch of GG's Gold, probably for the first time ever, I think, since he's created it a few years ago, in terms of doing a kind of big launch. And he's had a special offer on whereby you can sign up at the link below this video and various other links, and try it out for £20 for 2 months, which is something I would encourage any of you to do who think you may want to have access to what are undoubtedly the best set of tools within the racing game, in order to help you become your own expert, to pick your own winners. Better than the Racing Post, better than Sporting Life, better than At the Races, probably better than all of those put together. And it is something for those of you who want to try going it alone, and kind of relying on yourself, and think that's something you might like to try. I suppose the idea of this video is to bring to life a bit, I suppose, what all the fuss has been about. Now, I'm quite aware when you get bombarded with about 10, 20 emails all at the same time, the first reaction often is, this product must be a load of shite, if we're being honest. Normally when there's a big launch, the reception can be, it can be a bit off-putting seeing all these emails fly into your inbox. But I suppose, in my opinion, and I know there are a few readers of Racing to Profit who are members of GG's Gold, it is a potential game changer. Well, it is a game changer, and there'll be some of you who try it, having watched this video, and it will be the best thing since sliced bread. There'll be some of you who have tried it, and indeed there's some people that have signed up in the past, and they don't get on with it. They can't, it hasn't worked for them, they haven't had the time to put into it or whatever. So the idea of this video, I want to cover 3 strategies really. A big problem in this game of ours is you can have too much information. You can have information overload, and you kind of do need to dedicate the time, and I've been guilty, I'll be honest. The strategies I'm about to discuss with you are 3 that I haven't had the time as yet, as I've been focused on various different other things, in terms of my blog, etc. I haven't had the time to put into it to make these work properly. Now the idea is they're kind of quick and easy methods in order to get shortlists and starting points, and different ways that you can approach racing on a daily basis, all with the idea of providing information and in a quick and informative way, much better presented, I think, than you can find anywhere else, much more accessible, with the idea of giving you more information, making you a smarter punter, and giving you an edge over, well, everyone else who doesn't use it really, which is clearly the vast majority of people who bet on horses and still think the way to make profit long term is to back short-priced favourites, which we all know it isn't. But that's the easy option. The hard option is actually looking at information, trying to work out a kind of way forward in what is without doubt, I think, one of the most challenging and puzzling sports to attack in the world, if not the most challenging and puzzling. So that's the kind of brief intro. That's probably lasted 5 minutes, but there we go. So the first strategy I want to discuss is what I kind of could call instant expert standout bets. Now this is when you can flick through a card using this instant expert tab in front of you here, and get a quick feel if there's a kind of uncompetitive race where a horse really stands out. Now this is a great way of finding some decent price winners. Now if I go on to Newbury here, so the first thing is these are all the race cards. You can actually change the going within the race card. Now Newbury had quite a bit of rain. I'm not sure if they're expecting any more rain, but it could get on the heavy side, but for the sake of this video let's say it's heavy. And you can kind of flick through each race. If I just click the instant expert tab here, you can see here you've got a horse's record on the going, in the class, the course and the distance. And I suppose one way to approach this is to look at horses which have a clear kind of a line of green across these different indicators here, with a lot of horses having a lot of red. I mean, we can see there straight away in this particular race there's a couple that have proven form on heavy, there's a few that haven't tried it very much. There's a lot of red, there's a bit of colour. So yeah, you've got going, class, course, distance. You can change the distances up here. The going you can change there. You've got the horses last winning rating, last winning official rating, and its rating today, and the difference. You can see if a horse is well handicapped at a glance, if their mark is below their last winning mark, which obviously is useful for handicappers and when you're dealing with exposed horses who may be about to come back into form. So you can simply, one of the first strategies is to simply go through races click by click. I mean, I'm going to have a look at this race. I'm recording this video Friday evening. I'm going to have a look at this race Saturday morning with any luck. And you'll see here, certainly with the heavy ground settings, when you scan through here, there are kind of two horses that stand out in terms of being ideally suited to these conditions, which is 26 furlongs, heavy ground. You'll see, yeah, I mean, you'll see there, you can go across the different parameters. Harry Topper stands out. You can see why he's 9-4 favourite based on his profile here. Heavy ground, no problem. 2 for 3 at the course, a distance winner, £12 below his last winning mark. All the way down, and the other one, I suppose, that is no shock, is the David Pipe horse, Shot of Vodka, who won this race last year, I believe, and David Pipe has a very good record in it. So that's a kind of, you know, there's two horses you may want to look at them. I'll quickly just whiz through some of the kind of the race card features. So you can look at, so we've got Harry Topper here. I click down here, I can see his recent form, and to the right here, the then what features, you can see how many horses have run since that race and maybe come out and performed well, so that gives you an idea if a race is working out well, if it's not working out so well. We can see here Harry Topper kind of had a blowout in the Welsh National, having been off for a while, and he ran fairly respectably at Exeter, kind of a staying on fourth there. He had to be chivied along a bit. This heavy ground here and this longer trip, and we know his course form, and Kim Bailey couldn't be in better form, you can see there. So a quick click down of the trainer form, there's indicators here. A green 14 indicates 5 or more runs in the last 14 days, 20% win strike rate, or a 51% bigger place strike rate. So yeah, you know, Kim Bailey's in form. Interesting that Bellamy is on. I believe David Bass has gone to Doncaster, is it? I think probably to ride the Last Samurai, which might be because he's riding him in the National, and isn't anything to do with actually the chance of Harry Topper. And in any case, Tom Bellamy is a decent jockey. The horse can be a bit of a tricky one, I think, but I'm just spouting away now from having had a quick look through earlier. So, you know, there's different things there. You can look at David Pipe's form again. You know, that's okay. He's not as hot form as Mr. Bailey, but again, Paul Nicholls, he's in form as well. So that's just kind of a quick kind of top level look, and using the Internet Expert to try and get a short list of horses that might look interesting in terms of standing out. And also I whiz through some of these. This one looks quite competitive actually. I fancy more bucks. I would like to see some market support. If that fails to materialise, I think that's probably another point I've loaned back to the bookies. There's been a lot of them recently. 425, nothing there. I mean, if it is heavy, you want proven horse in heavy. So this just gives you an idea of, I mean, that's a National Hunt flat race, so a lot of these won't have form anyway. But you can whiz through. I mean, if we go to Kelso card, I'll do Kelso and look at one more. You know, it's the idea is to give you a quick look to see who's suited to conditions. I mean, this is a novice hurdle, so the horses are open to improvement and may not have shown their best as yet. Not races I like to play in, but that doesn't mean you can't, of course. Nothing here is proven in Class 3 as such. So I'm looking to see if anything really jumps out, and this is a good way just to kind of cross off a load of races, really. I suppose a 325, having looked at this. Oh, where are we? Also on the 4. Yeah. So I suppose the Mercury is interesting. This is where I want to, well, I suppose, highlight the pace, because I know, so this is the pace maps here. So Kelso, you can see the historic record of handicap chases or chases like this over this distance and where the best place to have been. So like most chases, actually the best place is either leading or prominent. You can see the scores here, down here. So a 4 means they led, so you've got their last run. A 3 means they were close up. A 2 were in touch, kind of held up mid-division, and a 1 is held up right out the back. So you can see here Bernardelli's going to try and be up there, but I don't think he's going to live with Tenor Nivernais. And then we've got the Dr. Peter May speed ratings down the side, so it's highly likely Tenor Nivernais is going to get a lead here. And you would think, based on his last win, if any of you can remember that, if he repeats that or goes anywhere near and doesn't have a jumping error, he's going to take quite a lot of pegging back, as the market suggests, at 8 to 11. The Mercury probably is the other Class 1 in the race and will no doubt chase him home, and maybe the one to scoop up if there are any errors, or if Tenor Nivernais doesn't follow up. So anyway, what are we on here? So soft, Dream Flyer's proven in soft. I mean, sometimes you may want to look to see if a horse has won or done something at least twice. They might have won at least twice in the going. And the great thing, as I said, if it does, you know, if the ground does change to heavy, you can simply change the going settings here. So again, if it is heavy, Rosquero looks interesting, Verco. And that's when you can kind of use it as a starting point and then to have a dip in. I'll just focus on Mickey Hammond's form, because I know it's a bit awful at the moment. So this is where you start to use other information, build up your notes and try and kind of work out any value bets. Mickey Hammond last 14 days, well, you can see the stats there. Last 30 days, only one of his 52 runners has won. 9 have placed. They're performing 78% below market expectations. So, you know, there's questions there, but that's that race. I'm trying to do this as briefly as I can. This one is so I think it's soft and heavy in places anyway, as I write, so I'm just going to have a look. I mean, Zaru is interesting. He is a TTP trainer track profile selection as well, actually. £15 below his last winning mark. The one that I personally like in this, which means he's now cursed. I mean, Zaru's interesting. He's 11-year-old. James Ewart's actually come into form, having not been in form. His horses have been cold. I'm not sure if he's had a virus or whatever. That could be the reason for these 3 Ps. And Zaru may well try and lead, but he's 11 now, and he just looks completely out of sorts. If he could rediscover anything, even such as this hurdle run here, he might give it a good go from the front. His best form has been on good, but as you saw from that thing, he has won on heavy. Again, these Dreams, the interesting one for me. Again, he's another trainer track profile selection. But you know, if you click here, you can have a look. So he won here. He absolutely hacked up at Newcastle. And this is a race. So that's a Class 5 hurdle. It's actually produced some decent winners since. 17 horses have since run from that race. 4 have won, 5 have placed. That will include the winners. Air, that was a steadily run race, and it looks like he needs further, which is why, you know, he was staying on. He still ran okay. Nick Alexander's in form. That's the other thing that stands out. That green 14, as you can see there. 5 runners last 14 days. 3 have won, 4 have placed. So any of his runners should certainly be noted. And the other thing you will all have noticed, I should think, is the fact that Brian Hughes is riding, and when he rides for anyone in the north that you don't really associate him with, that is of some interest. And when this loads, I can get up Nick Alexander and click on his trainer stats. So these are all of his runners in the last 5 years, and I want to look at his record with Brian Hughes, so I click jockey, so that will come the record. You can see there 12 runners, 5 wins, 8 places. He's only actually teamed up 2 times in hurdles, but they've both placed. I can filter those stats, so I actually just want to look at handicaps. And again, you can see there, so a record of 5 from 10, 8 places when they team up in handicaps. You can see their qualifiers down here. They actually didn't team up until November 16, or 9th November last year for the first time, which is interesting in itself maybe. But anyway, clearly he is a positive booking. I think he's only 3 to 1, but hopefully has a bit of pace to aim at. It'll be interesting how Zaru goes, but that's that. There's Irish form. There's for those of you who enjoy the sand and a bit of the all-weather. That isn't me personally, but I know many of you are successful. So this one, the 2 o'clock at Lingfield, that just looked competitive. Look, lots of amber, lots of horses. I mean, these are the place stats, so I should say you can look at the win and place. So actually, the place stats look competitive enough. I suppose it's class 6, isn't it? They all take it in turns to an extent. When you click on the win, there is one horse that stands out there, and that's Roy's Legacy. The Wee Chief looks interesting, but he's had 13 goes at 5 furlongs and has never won. Dear Song, so that might be they want further. Now if they do want further and the race is run at a lickety-split pace, that may help them, but still that's not great for their chance, is it? So Roy's Legacy is looking interesting, and he's £8 below his last winning mark. Notepads at the ready. Now we can have a look. Ideally you want something like the trainer being in form. Not too bad, I suppose. You know, he's only had 4 runners the last 2 weeks. 1 is placed. What else? I mean, I suppose then you're going to look through and see if there's anything that's kind of unexposed or might do better. We can look at his own form. You know, what have we got here? I mean, he's been running consistently. Led, so we know he likes to lead. He couldn't lead at Wolves there. Lingfield led, joined over, outpaced last 50 yards. That was what, a mark 55. So, you know, he ran well there. Southall, I'm not sure if he likes, but that's certainly different to Lingfield surface. And the thing we want to check here is pace, and is he going to get an easy lead? Possibly not. Well, it looks like, well, Red Flute can be up there. Dear Song with leader, so kind of looked like he was going, but then he has tracked the leader. So Charlie Bennett is going to try and get Roy's Legacy out, and it'll be interesting if indeed he can make all. We can see there from the pace stats that making all is desirable, and kind of leading and being prominent is the place to be here. I don't know what his odds are, but he might be an interesting bet, an interesting each way bet. We can have a look at the draw stats. So we can see here, this is a historic, you know, where you're drawn and where's it placed to be. Now his was 9, wasn't he? 8 or 9. So leading, you know, green is good, red is bad. Quite straightforward really. There's different things you can play around with, and we can see the different runners and stats for, you know, where you were in terms of the pace and where you were drawn. So that's interesting. So Roy's Legacy might be one to have a look at. We can flick through. Let's just run through and see if any more just jump out in terms of the win. I mean, this race looks rather competitive. That's a maiden race. I don't have any time for that. Personally, Zach Brown, I suppose. I mean, it's competitive in terms of distance and going. That's interesting in the sense that he has got a decent record in Class 2. These 3 don't. The 3 above him are okay. Yeah, that might be of interest. That's a race to look into. Then we have a listed race. That looks competitive enough. Another one, nothing jumping out at me there. So anyway, you get the idea. I shouldn't really go through all of those races. I suppose we could look at Ireland. This is heavy going, and now this kind of instant expert approach is quite good, I think, when the going is heavy, because it's an extreme going. Very few horses actually handle heavy. That's a maiden hurdle, Bargy Lad, but again that'll be full of unexposed types. This is a handicap hurdle so far for Freddie's the only one that's got winning form in heavy ground, so that's the 320, and he's 2 from 2 in terms of placing on heavy, place in the class. Lots of these, they've had a few goes on heavy but as yet haven't done much, so the likes of Dubai Devils and for Freddie might be interesting to consider for each way wagers, price allowing. You know and I know that all of these horses that I'm just flagging up now are going to finish out the back of the TV. This is the first time I've gone through these particular cards. I did have a look at Newbury earlier on. Killer Crow looks interesting. The distance, so you can adjust the distance here. Let's have a look. Has he actually got any form over 2 miles 2? I'm trying to work out where his winning form is. So his winning form's looks likely to be over kind of 2 mile 4. But he looks very suited to heavy ground. If this turns into a slog, it would appear that he has the extra stamina. So Killer Crow might be interesting. He's trained by Gordon Elliott, so may not be much of a price, but we shall see. And again, that's a handicap chase. I personally like to focus on handicaps, but nothing's really jumping out there. The two that have heavy ground might have questions over the distance. It might be interesting to see if they've actually stayed further. So yeah, Texas Jack has stayed further. No. So that's an idea for there. I realise I've probably been going on for 20 minutes already. So that's one approach you can do. Obviously that's a lot quicker if I'm not talking through and looking through. You can kind of flick through different cards. You might write down 3 or 4 horses that look suited to conditions and jump out when everything else doesn't. I'd say that Roy's Legacy looked like an interesting one, and that's then when you can start to dive in again. You might want to look at the horse, look at the trainer form, whatever else, look at the other competitors in the race. So that's one strategy. The other strategy is the kind of what I call the reports starting place. So there's various different reports here. I'm not going to go through them all because I will be here all evening, but you can essentially look at hot form, which is races that have worked out really well. I mean, the idea with these, I suppose, is the starting points. There's a couple that I like to glance at. That's the trainer first time in a handicap. So we know that some trainers are very good at setting up their horses, what's the right way to say it, gaining them experience in non-handicaps, and some of them are deliberately there just to run in handicaps. They maybe run on the wrong ground, over too short a distance, you name it. Today, this is where you'll see I found the Henry Oliver one, whose stats before today were quite decent. 6 from 12, 7 places. This one sadly didn't add to them, came a kind of plodding on 4th, but those kind of stats are useful. So tomorrow we can see if anyone stands out. Not really. Gosden has an okay record on win percentage, but loses a shed load of money, kind of backing them all to starting price. So there's nothing really jumps out there in their general handicap stats. Are there any which target a certain course? So William Haggis, we can see here, has sent 6 horses to Newcastle on handicap debut. 3 of them have won. There's no odds up yet, but it'll be interesting. I mean, this horse won his maiden last time out, so I should think his odds will not be much, but it'll be interesting if he can add to the Haggis stats there. And again, you can see those that don't have a great record. Trainer change, that's an interesting report. So again, these are all looking at trainer behaviour, and these are looking at trainers who do well with horses first time out, for them having come from another yard. So we can see Michael Scudamore today. I don't think, I don't think Dig for Victory won, did he? I don't know. Hopefully not. It's 50 to 1. But there you go. That's a interesting angle. What is anything else? Let's have a look at tomorrow. So David Pipe actually in the last year has got a good record with recruits from other yards. This one is a runner on the flat. Might be interesting, it might not. Clearly some of these are small numbers. So Mr. Wiggum's 2 from 7 the last 2 years. And he's got the informed Josephine Gordon booked, so that might be one that's worth looking at in the 235 at Lingfield. Again, small numbers, but and the win profit loss suggests that those have been well backed. The two that have won, it's like the yards know that they're going to run well, but that's that one. The kind of one I touched on in the week was the trainer jockey combo stats, and I will just touch on this now. So yeah, this is the kind of second approach, and there's no right or wrong way to use these sets of tools. Some of you will enjoy certain things more than others, and it's why the kind of 2-month trial for what the tenner a month effectively is good, because it it can take some time to get used to and work out an approach which is suitable for you. But this is a long-term game, and enough of you will work out an approach that works for you. Forevermore really, which is exciting. So let's look at tomorrow, and one way you can really quickly draw up a short list of horses. So this is the trainer jockey combo report. You can look at training jockeys that are in form based on the last 14 days. That is one way in. Venetia Williams, Aidan Coleman, they've been doing well recently. The other way is to look at their record at certain courses, so trainers booking certain jockeys. So what I like to do is click the win percentage here and order it. You can click all of these and it will just order it by highest to lowest or lowest to highest. So I like doing the win percentage. This is all their runners. This is going to cover non-handicap and handicap. You can sort it to just handicap if you want. One reader who Matt discussed in the video kind of looks at trainer jockey combos that have at least a 30% win strike rate and a 50% place strike rate. You want a healthy sample size as well. So Atwart does 1 from 3 places with William Carson. That might mean much, it might not. In fact, all 3 have placed. I mean, it might even be just on this horse. But so Monumental Man, the 345. I suppose Beckett and Berry's interesting. I mean, he's stable jockey now, isn't he? I think. But there we go, 3 from 9, 5 places. Gosden and McKay. So yeah, you've got some small numbers here. I'm looking for bigger one. You've got the profit loss columns here as well. So Gordon Elliott and Jack Kennedy at Navan with all runners. Strike is back in the 245, which is that might be an interesting one to look at, although it doesn't look in much form. But that might be deceptive. Watson, and so this is a busy Saturday, although some of the sample sizes aren't massive. So yeah, I mean that obviously these reports will be different day to day, but again the idea is to give you a good starting point. So we've got Ellsworth and D'Souza at Lingfield. They've teamed up 4 times and yet to be out the places. So Sea of Flames may be of some interest in the 235 at Lingfield. Who have we got here? I mean, I like to see kind of trainer jockeys teamed up at least 10 times really, but that's a personal thing. And you may find an approach that works for you. So that's kind of the second strategy in terms of using the reports to have a quick sift through and come up with 3 to 5 horses, combinations, whatever, that you may then use the race cars to go back in and have a look at. If you're focusing on solid win percentages, the idea, fingers crossed, is that over time you'll find enough value bets, enough horses at decent odds to make it pay. Even betting kind of £2, £5, whatever. So that's that. And the third one, I suppose, which was discussed, and I suppose I've actually touched on it, is the pace, speed rating and draw angle. So you could actually just look for front runners. Now on the flat, once this loads, so I mean we touched on this, but let's just have a look at Newcastle. So you could jump straight to the pace reports as a third thing, and find these, see if there's any front runners. And there's Matt's testing something else here to actually sort of highlight whether they think there's going to be possible lone speed or front runners or whatever. So we've got the Haggis horse was kind of up there. The Gosden horse made all, so it looks like he probably will lead. And then we've got kind of Dr. Peter May speed ratings, so it's combining the top rated speed with a clear front runner, and combined with the fact that that running style is good for the track. Now this isn't something I've tried and tested myself at all really, and it is something I want to have a look at. Clearly when the flat turf season gets going, that'll be even more exciting because you'll have the draw stats, but that is another way as a kind of starting point, trying to find lone front runners that are also really good on the speed ratings. There's nothing there. This is the first time I've gone through this card. It's highly likely we won't find anything, but you never know. Top of the bank looks like he's probably going to lead, and you can see there's Amber there, so kind of being up there. Yeah, it does look like top of the bank. Compton River can lead. Top of the bank and Compton River, you may never know, there might be 1, 2 all the way through the line. Now his speed rating's okay. I mean, it's not quite win for power at 98, but it is kind of second, third best, so that's interesting. Let's have a look here again. So I'm just clicking on the scores. I'm getting the highest kind of 4x4, obviously, so 16 is the highest score you can get, and I'm combining it with the speed ratings. Nope, none of the top speed ratings are front runners there. And like I said, we want the pace and the draw, the pace stats to kind of back up. And that's a maiden, won't bother there. Pace can mean sod all in maidens if you're kind of bumping into a Frankel or a classy horse. It doesn't really matter where they are on the track at any given time if their legs go quicker in the final couple of furlongs. Where are we here? Oh, that's another. Not much there to go on. A few that have front run, only 2 with speed rating. So you know, that's an idea for doing that. And I suppose actually the final one I will look at is my fancy for the Greatwood Gold Cup handicap chase, and that kind of was on a pace. Well, this does tick all those boxes. So you've got Moorbucks, looks likely, well, has led and been up there on every single one of his chases and recent races. Tornado Milan can be up there, but his legs definitely move slower than Moorbucks, I think. He's getting on, what's he, 11 now, and Moorbucks does have the highest speed rating as well. So in theory Sean Bowen is going to dictate this race all the way round. Hopefully Moorbucks can get into a rhythm. On the speed rating figures is the best horse in the race. Clearly it doesn't always work out that way, but hopefully if he stands up and has an error-free round and actually jumps well, there should be no excuse there really. Well, there won't be an excuse because he's going to be able to do what he wants up front, hopefully, and that in any handicap chase or any chase of any sort is often the best place to be. So we will see if Moorbucks, Paul Nicholls and Sean Bowen have read the script. But that's it for this video really. There's 3 ways, kind of starting points and ways that you can kind of dive into a race. Kind of selectivity is always best, but you will find an approach, whether it's the trainer jockey combos, whether it's that pace, lone front runners, speed rating angle, whether it's finding horses that stand out as suitable to conditions in really uncompetitive races, because every other horse has proven that they do not handle conditions. You know, they're all great starting points. I know I've been droning on for a bit, but if I was just sat here by myself going through those 3 things and not kind of boring you all to tears, that's kind of a 10-15 minute, well, 10-minute job to go through those 3 different strategies, just to click through all the different cards, note down some horses of interest that you can then go back and have a look at. Some of those you may be able to cross off straight away because they're going to be, you know, short odds, 2 to 1, 6 to 4, whatever. Others might be big odds and you want to have a look and take a chance. So that's the point really. There is a tipping as well. I'll finish off with that because many Stat of the Day, many GG's Gold subscribers just back Stat of the Day, which is 1 horse per day picked out by the expert tipping team at GG's based on stats. They're a brilliant read through each day. They average and have averaged since they started, when was that, 3, 4, 5 years ago. They've averaged 100 points to level stakes a year, I think now. They're a good 40-45 points up in 2017 already. I wish my own tipping was as consistent as theirs, but a lot of people, subscribers, will bet £2.50, £5 on stat of the day each day, and that more than covers their subscriptions over the course of a year. So that's one approach you can take. So it is a pretty comprehensive package for those of you who want information that's easy, accessible, and is presented in a way which isn't presented anywhere else in the racing space. I would consider giving GG's Gold a go. Those of you who do, some of you will like it, some of you won't get on with it, some of you will struggle to find out an approach for you, which is fine. That's why Matt has introduced a 2-month trial so you can have full time and give it a good go. The majority of you, I suspect, will learn to love it and think it's something for you. I know most of you may not want to pay for anything and are happy with the free resources you use, which is fair enough. Hopefully you have found a few horses in this video which you can go and have a look at using whatever tools you use, and with any luck some of them might run well. We will see if that's the case. But if you are interested in taking that gold trial offer, which runs out on Tuesday, I think Matt's going to take it down on Tuesday, so you don't have long to get in for that 2 months for £20. There's a link below this video. There's also a Q&A which Matt did, some commonly asked questions from people that weren't sure about different things, and there's some answers there you can flick through as well. This will be the last time that I bang on about gold for a while. You will be pleased to hear, but I see part of my job as introducing quality stuff to you that I know some of you will use and that will improve and enhance your experience of racing. So I won't apologise for talking about GG's Gold this week, because some of you who sign up, it's going to be, well, life-changing, maybe a bit too strong, but it will certainly change your approach to racing forevermore, I think, and with any luck, touch wood, will make you more profitable moving forward, and most importantly will ensure that you enjoy your racing even more than you do so now. So yes, you can give it a go at the link below this video. I will leave it there. I'm going to get on with the rest of my Friday evening and go to the pub, I think, and maybe a few bars, and have a few beers. So whatever you're doing this, well, you'll be watching this Saturday morning. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I'll be trudging off to Anfield later in the afternoon, where hopefully we'll beat Arsenal. We have a great record against the top 6. It seems to be teams that are in the bottom 5 or 6 that we struggle against. So hopefully that's a good game. But yes, whatever you do with your Saturday, whatever you do with the rest of your weekend, have an enjoyable one, and good luck with any bets that you have on the racing and on horses this weekend. So yes, this is Josh saying bye for now. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon.